I welcome you all back to my YouTube channel, and in this video I'm going to teach you how you can solve quadratic equations by using factorization method. I'm going to make this topic very simple so that each and every person can understand what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to talk about. So for those of you that have been following me, I've given you chance to answer an exercise and you send to my WhatsApp line that I'm going to give later. And for those of you that could like to start tuitions with me, you can also text me on the same line that I'm going to give by the end of this lesson. So how can you solve a quadratic equation by using factorization method? So you know that the format of a quadratic equation is like this: ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. This is a format of a quadratic equation. Every quadratic equation should be in this format. This is a format that we get to follow. So you know that a quadratic equation is like this and can be factorized into two pairs of brackets by using the method which I'm calling factorization method. So there are certain steps that we get to do, there are certain steps that we get to follow whenever we want to solve a quadratic equation. So the first step is find the products of A and C. So first thing, you need to find the product. This is the first thing. You find the what? The product. How do you find the product? You multiply A times C. This is how we get to find the product. After finding the product, which is our first step, we find the sum. How do you find the sum? The sum, you just get a B from a quadratic equation. Just get a B, just like that. So after you do that, after you do all those steps, then the last step is where you get to find now the factors. So what are the factors? Maybe someone is behind on the factors. What are these same factors? So the factors are two numbers that you can multiply to get the product that you found. And if you add those same factors, you need to get the sum which is here. So you are going to understand this better when I give an example. So let us solve this quadratic equation. It's saying x squared plus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. How can you solve this quadratic equation by using factorization? Before I continue, I could like to submit this to you. It is not every quadratic equation that you can solve by using factorization method. No, it is not every quadratic equation. So how now can you tell that this quadratic equation can be solved by using factorization method? Is by using these 1, 2, 3. If all these three are there, then that quadratic equation can be solved by using factorization method. So let's find the product. Product is equal to, what's the product there? What is your A? So you say, what is your A? You know how to find A. A is this one. So A is 1 here. The coefficient of x squared, that is 1. You move to B. What is your B? We are looking at that. So if this is not properly written, you need to rearrange it in a way that it is going to satisfy a quadratic equation, the format of a quadratic equation. Your B is 5. What is your C? Your C is what? Your C is 6. So our C is just a 6 that is there. That is a 6 that is there. So we now have A, B, and C. So I told you that how do you find the product? A times C. A times C. 1 times 6. That is a 6. What is your sum? Your sum, how do you get to find the sum? The number B. B. B is 5. What are the factors? So what do I mean by factors? Find two numbers that you can multiply to get a what? A 6. And if you add those same numbers, you get a 5. So you now begin to think of numbers that you can multiply to get a 6. So let us look for numbers that, all the numbers that you know that you can multiply to get a 6. Tell me all those numbers. So I want to teach you how we get to form factors, how you can come up with the factors, because this is a challenge to most of you. So I want to tell you how you get to find the factors. So when you say 1 times 6, you can get what? You can get a 6. 3 times 2, you can also get a 6. So only these two numbers, I guess. There are only two numbers here that we can multiply to get a 6, like all numbers. So now you look at your sum. Your sum is 5. So is it possible to add these two to get a 5? Or is it possible if we say we subtract? If we subtract, yes, but the sign will be tempered with that side. Have you seen? So you look for two numbers that you can multiply to get a. So if you multiply these two, you get a 6. Add these two. Have you seen? You get a 6. You get a 5 if you add. So the factors are 3 and 2. These are the what? These are the factors. This is how you need to do them. So after you do this, as long as the coefficient this side is 1, as long as the coefficient here, the coefficient of a is 1, you just need to go direct. You say x, this is positive 3, so plus 3, you do this. Then you say x plus 2, that is positive 2, is equal to 0. You only do this if the coefficient of a is 1. I'm going to give another example where the coefficient of a won't be 1. I'm going to show you how you can solve that one. But for now, let us just stick to this way of answering questions. So you get this one equates to 0. You also get this one, you equate to 0. So what are you going to do now? What you are going to do is this. This is what you are going to do. So you're going to say x plus 3 is equal to 0, or x plus 2 is equal to 0, like this. Then you say x is equal to, this is a 0, this is a 0. So when a 3 comes here, we're going to have 0 minus 3. Or what are we going to have? X is equal to 0 minus 2. So whenever a number crosses the equal to sign, the sign changes. So in this case, what are we having? X is equal to negative 3. That is our answer, first answer. Or x is equal to negative 2. That is our answer. So that's how you need to solve, and that's how we get to solve quadratic equations. Have you seen? So how did I know that I can solve this by factorization method? I had to find these factors. But if you cannot find factors, which means you cannot solve that particular equation by using factorization method, this is how you get to know. So now let us move to the other part. Let me give you a question that I want you to solve using a factorization method. So we'll solve this together, then see how far we've understood this. So we are going to solve it together. So it is like this: 6x squared minus x minus 2. This is how it is. How do you solve this? Find the what? The product. What are the product? A times c. So I'm going to be very fast on this because I've told you how you can find a, b, and c. So a is 6. So 6 times negative 2, that is negative 12. What is your sum? Your sum, you check. What is your sum? Your sum is negative 1. So you put negative 1 here. This is what you're going to do. What are your factors? Your factors, two numbers that you can multiply to get negative 12. If you add those same numbers, you get negative 6. So on this part, you don't need to be lazy. You need to make sure that you start looking for those numbers. So even the exercise that I'm going to give you, the exercise is for each and every person that is watching this video. As long as you've watched up to this, you need to make sure that you attend to the exercise. If possible, you submit to my WhatsApp number that I'm going to give you. I want everyone to submit. So, and if you're interested in starting online tuitions with me, you can text me, you can tell me even as you are submitting your work at an affordable fee. We do it at an affordable fee. So that's how you need to do it. So what are the factors? Two numbers that you can multiply to get negative 12. So the numbers that are there, we've got 2 times 6, we've got 12 times 1, we've got 3 times 4. I think these are the common numbers that we can multiply to get a what? To get a 12. So to get a what? To get a 12. So with this now, what you need to do is that you check. You are looking at the what? You are looking at the sum now. So even if you subtract, you add these, you cannot get negative 1. So these cannot work. Even these, have you seen? No matter how you can add them, how you can subtract them, you cannot get your 1. So even these cannot work. So it means these are the what? These are the factors. You just need to check on which part are you supposed to put a negative, on which part are you supposed to put a positive. So 3 and 4 are the factors. So 3 and 4 are the factors. Which one is supposed to be negative? If seen, this is negative 1. So which means negative 4. This 4 should be negative so that we get to have a 3, a positive. Such that if you multiply negative 4 times 3, you get negative 4. Negative 4 plus 3, you get negative 1. After you do this, so the moment you are just done with this part, what you need to do next is that you are going to remove this part. Have you seen? So I won't go direct because the coefficient of a is 6 there. So I will say 6x squared. I remove this part. This part, have you seen? I remove that O part. I just leave, you should just remain with the first number and the last number. You remove what is in the middle. You remove it together with the sign. So I'm going to put these factors. Negative 4. So I put x because there is x there. Then plus 3. I also include x. Then I say minus 2. That one. So these two, have you seen that they have maintained? This is how you get to do it. After you do this, after you are done with this, then you say you group them into 2. You group them nicely into 2 like this. Then you start factorizing. You start doing what? Factorizing. So how do you factorize? Which number can go into 6 and 4? It is 2. So 2. You put a 2 there nicely. Then which letter is common? X. You do this. 2 into 6, it is 3. X into x squared, we've got 2x, 1x. So we're going to remain with 1x. Minus 2 into 4, it is 2. X, 1. So you're just going to have something like this. You continue. So you continue. You say, what are you having here? You say plus. What is common here? Nothing is common. So just a 1. You do this. Then that thing will appear. 3x minus 2. You do this. Have you seen? This is what you're going to do. So if these two are the same, if these two in the brackets are the same, you just get 1. 3x minus 2. This is what you're going to do. Then you get this 1. This 2x plus 1 equal to what? Equal to 0. So we are going to continue from here. So let's see how we are going to do this. Let's see how we are going to. So let us continue it from here. I want us to do it from here. We continue from here. So we've got 3x minus 2. Then 2x plus 1, which is equal to 0. Those ones which were the same, then what was outside, you get this. Have you seen? We had something like 2x 3. I feel someone haven't understood this concept. Let me just repeat. this. So you get this, these are the same, you just pick one. 3x minus 2. You also get this outside. This is 2x. This is positive 1, like this. Have you seen? That's how I came up with that. So after you get this part, you equate it to 0. So it's 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. That's how you need to do it. Then you also get this part. You say, oh, 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. So you solve this. This is 3x is equal to, you're going to have a 2 there. Or 2x is equal to, when that one goes aside, it's negative 1. You divide both sides by 3, 3, 3. This cancelled. So x is equal to 2 over 3. That's your answer here. Or you divide by 2 by 2. So x is equal to negative 1 over 2. You're not using any calculator, so just needs to leave your answer like this. Have you seen the way I've answered this? This is how you need to work them out. This is a procedure that you need to do and get. So I want to give you an exercise that I want you to try. I want to give you now an exercise. I see if you've really understood. So don't forget to comment. Don't forget to like the video. And if you are new to this YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe. So I want you to solve this. Don't use any other method, but use the method that we are just from doing. This is factorization method. So we've got x squared minus 7x plus 12. This is the first one. The second one is this. This is the second one. 5x squared minus x minus 4. So just work out these two equations. Try to see how you can solve them if you've really understood what I'm from teaching. And those that want to submit this work, they want me to see it, you can WhatsApp me on my WhatsApp number. This is my WhatsApp number, 0971 066747. Just for this week, I've given you this opportunity to chat with me on WhatsApp. And if you want tuitions, you can let me know. You can tell me that I also want tuitions. Thank you so much. Let's see how we can work out these questions.